Welcome back to day 23 of my perfectly imperfect, beautiful life. And today I want to talk about feeling worthy of our dreams and the root causes of why we may not sometimes feel worthy of them. Uh, and so, one of the things that came up for me a few weeks ago, I went to this workshop. It was given by Tanya Poole. If you don't know who she is, she's amazing. But she had this workshop, and during this workshop, she asked us to do a visualization exercise. And in this exercise, we were asked to look at something that we dreamed of having. And one of the things that came up for me was a home, and I could see this home very clearly. I could see the furniture and the way that I wanted to look, and the inside and the outside. But the next question that was asked was like, what is potentially blocking us from attaining? Like, what are our fears associated with this thing or this dream? And the thing that came up for me was my neighbors, and these are neighbors I don't even know yet. And so I was fearful of not fitting in with my neighbors who I don't even know. And so this particular neighborhood could potentially have a golf course. This potential neighborhood could have a country club. And I envisioned myself automatically not fitting in. And I also envisioned myself not wanting to appear to be a certain way to people who may not live in that neighborhood. And so what's interesting is, let me just say even both sides of that, is I have friends who who have properties that are associated with a golf course or a country club. And I have conversations with them with no problem. So where the fear is with me actually living in those neighborhoods, not so sure. And then another memory of that a potential block, something that came up for me was the church. Well, let me just say this. When I attended church as a child, I could remember some church chatter. And part of the church chatter was I remember this lady coming in and she had this fur on. And I could remember some church chatter saying, look at her. She thinks she's all that. Now, I don't know what the story was really behind all of it, but I know she had this fur on. And I thought that was a symbol of something, of her thinking that she was all that. And so I could also remember there's this other family that was there, and this family had purchased a luxury car for our pastor. And again, I remember church chatter of them saying that they were arrogant, that they thought they were all that, they thought they were better than other people in the congregation. And and then I remember another incident where there was a family who I had never been to their home, but it was said that they had like a housekeeper and a house manager. And I remember hearing about it as a kid, thinking it was cool because I grew up watching shows like Dynasty. And so I felt like it was really neat to see somebody actually in the flesh who had that. But when I heard the church chatter, it was like there was something wrong with them for having that. And so it was said that they were stuck up, that they thought that they were all that they thought they were better than other people in the congregation. But guess what? That wasn't my experience with them. They were always nice to me. They were always giving. I mean, they gave me church candy and they used to laugh and joke with me. So the definition that other people gave them in my reality was something completely different. But the label that was placed on them was something that I never wanted to be associated with. And so I found myself probably my whole entire life trying not to be labeled as stuck up, arrogant, or thinking that I was all that. And so I would water myself down. And I mean, like to the point where I wouldn't allow myself even to tell people that I was educated, because I would find sometimes if it would come up in conversations, because I wouldn't just outright say it, I would find myself if I would have a conversation with someone, if I would tell them, they would change their vocabulary. Sometimes they would remove themselves from me. Sometimes they would start talking about things they were doing, but it would just leave the conversation from where we were already discussing to there was just it was just a clear shift, and it would just kind of hurt my feelings. Um, and I would even find myself like, let's say that I had on a particular dress, I would feel like I would have to apologize if someone complimented. I would say, "Oh, girl, I got this on sale," and like I had to apologize because I didn't want anybody to feel like I thought that I was better, you know? And so I do hold myself accountable for that too, because they didn't ask me to do that. I did that to myself. It's because those subconscious memories told me that I don't want this person to think that I'm stuck up. I don't want this person to think that I'm all that. I don't want this person to think that I'm better. So I would say things to make sure I didn't. And I would do stuff like tell my story all the time. And so, yeah, there are some things that I've been through that are really heavy, and I wouldn't wish them on anyone. And so when I would be in certain arenas, I would feel like I had to tell my story so that people wouldn't think that I thought that I was better. And I found myself telling my story a lot. And for what? I don't know, but I would say that so that people wouldn't remove me from them, so that people wouldn't put me on a pedestal, so that people wouldn't say that I was stuck up. But guess what? As much as I tried to stay down, people would say that I was stuck up or that I was fake or that I thought I was better anyways. So it didn't even work. Whatever I thought this formula was still hasn't worked, you know? And so I wonder like how many of us are trying to stay down, you know? How many of us are stunning our growth because we're trying to fit in? Like we're not made to fit in. We're not supposed to fit in. Like we're all supposed to shine. We're all supposed to have it. You know, we're all supposed to be ourselves 100% so that we can get those things that we desire. I think being ourselves 100 proof might be a part of the test to attaining those things. But so many of us are fearful of that because of the things that we've heard. Now, you know, I'm not removed from saying that there are things that have stopped us, you know, that we have no control over, such as our experiences, such as racism. I understand those things give us an unfair advantage sometimes, but there are others of us who have had opportunities presented right in front of us, who have had people who have tried to help us, and we've stopped ourselves because we want to stay down. It's like we need to reverse that. Like why would we not say, let's rise and let's continue to rise so that we can pull people up, you know? And so I am ridding myself, working on it daily, holding myself accountable, not blaming anybody for not attaining certain goals, holding myself accountable to keep pushing, holding myself accountable for not feeling like I have to tell my story. Will I tell my story to help someone? Yes. Do I feel like I have to say it every single time? No. Do I feel like I have to apologize for certain things that I have? Not anymore. And I'm not even saying that I have a lot, but the things that I do have, there's a long time I felt like I had to apologize for that. So I wonder what it is that's blocking you. Like, what is it? What are the thoughts? What are the childhood memories that keep you from progressing? And maybe it's not childhood. Maybe it's something that's happened recently, but there's these false narratives that we are carrying that is just holding so many of us back. And, you know, at this point, for many of us who are conscious, we are in charge of our healing. You know, we can't expect other people to do it for us. And I know I can. I know I have been on it, and it's definitely a work in progress. I know it's not going to happen overnight. It's been with me all my life, so I can't expect it just to go away. But I will sift out the things that I know that I could change now. And I know other things will take, like I said, they will take time. But I know that I am worthy of my dreams. I cannot continue to feel like I'm not, you know, and I'm not going to continue to feel like it has to constantly be a struggle. Because that's another false narrative that I have had. Like, you gotta work hard, you gotta grind all night, you gotta, you gotta look dirty, and all this kind of stuff. You gotta be grind, just no. It doesn't have to be like that all the time. Maybe that's a part of the process, but that doesn't have to be the whole entire process, right? There is some part of our lives that we can attain things with freedom and ease, as my coach would say. There are some things that we can attain easily and effortlessly. Yes, it is going to take some work. Yes, it is going to take some struggle, but struggle does not have to be the full freaking narrative. And so, I don't even know how I want to end this. I want to end it by saying we can all shine. We can all rise. We all have it. This is why we were all made individually. We've all come with a gift of somehow that we can give the world. We've all been given visions. And like I keep saying before, if we get the vision, that doesn't come just from left field. It's because it's the potential. It's showing us where we can go. Believing it is the problem. Having faith that we can get there is the other problem. But we can have it. We can have it. And there are some who will make us believe that we can't, that everybody can't get it. I don't believe it. I think it's our beliefs that stop us a lot of the times. So I will see you guys for day 24, but let's move, y'all. Let's give ourselves life. Let's love ourselves first daily. And a part of that is our healing. See you later. Bye.